First of all, let's just go back a little bit. Give us a little background as far as who your biggest influences are coming into the music game. You know, making that first music. You know, what were your inspirations to really create music of your own?
Man, back then, you know, where I really started with the music was first and foremost Michael Jackson. Like when I saw Michael Jackson, like for the first time, I think it was like when he done the Motown thing, like when he did something like with his brothers, and then he did his own. Man, when I mean like just the feeling I got from seeing him on stage and hearing the crowd react, you know, right then I was like, that's what I want to do. You know, like, and you know what I'm saying, I used to like just sing first, you know what I'm saying, like it was Michael Jackson, and then it was New Edition, and then after that, you know, that's when after that I started getting into rap. I started listening to Run DMC and LL Cool J, you know, and what I did, I would write down their lyrics to their songs, and once I started writing down their lyrics and learning their lyrics, I started like reading what I wrote. I was like, man, this is easy, because all they're doing is like making the last words of the sentence rhyme. So I was like, this should be easy. Like, so I started like writing my own rhymes from there. Like, and I just kept at it, and just followed the scene. You know, from everybody from Big Daddy Kane to, you know what I'm saying, to Chill Rob G, just everybody, MC Light, Queen Latifah, like that whole movement back then. KRS-One was definitely a like big influence, you know, and man, just stuck with that. You know, I was always into music, like R&B, rap, pop, rock, you know what I'm saying. I used to listen to it all, you know, so I mean that's basically, and of course all the old school from like the Isley Brothers, you know what I'm saying, Ohio Players, OJs, you know, like all the old school, Marvin Gaye, you know, like, so like music in general, man, you know, like I was never biased to any kind of music. I always just liked the sound of music. Always like every time I heard like anything different, I could always like create something from it, you know, no matter what kind of genre it was. I was just always into it. So it was
Good music is good music.
Exactly.
That's beautiful. That's great. And as far as the rapid fire delivery, where was the inspiration for that?
Man, it all came from like several different artists, you know what I'm saying. It was, you know, like, you know, I think I heard, you know, it was a mix of Big Daddy Kane, MC Ren, and the DOC. And you know, like, I heard them do it a couple of times, you know, but I was like, what if somebody did it like this, just non-stop, like just kept going. And, you know, like at first when we first did it, that's all we used to do was just like rap fast. But by us all being like in unison and knowing each other's verses, like the other members would ad-lib while another person rapped, and like we got so good at it, it sounded like the other people was harmonizing while the other person was rapping. So that's what the whole name came from, and like where we got the style from, because people used to be like, man, y'all sound like rappers just like singing doo-wop or something like that, because the harmony was so on point, and everybody was just like, wow, that's something different, we never heard that before. So that's how the whole style came about, with us rapping fast, and the harmony like just fell into place with it.
And where'd the Bone name come from?
Well, man, the Bone name is basically like a family name. That's the family name. Actually, before we used to be called Bone Enterprise back in the day, you know, like, but Bone was always a family name. That's where everybody has, like, you know, it's Krayzie Bone, Lazy Bone, Rich Bone. That's like, that's the name that unites us as a family. And as far as the Bone Thugs and Harmony, when we came out to California, we had dropped the Enterprise, and we were just going by Bone. And we had a song called Thugs and Harmony, and Eazy-E heard the song, and he was like, man, that should be y'all name, because y'all thugs and y'all harmonize. We was like, yeah, but Bone is the family name. He was like, so we called Bone Thugs and Harmony. And then we was like, cool, that sound good. And that's what we was, you know, like from that day on, we was Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Well, tell us about hooking up with Eazy-E, how that all happened, and your first trip to LA, and what all that meant to you.
Man, our first trip out here to LA was crazy, because, you know, we took one-way bus passes. Like, we was in California, I mean, we was in Cleveland, and man, it was just crazy. Like, we had done everything we could do in Cleveland as far as music, you know, like basically went as far as we could go. We went as far as the Cleveland music scene at the time would allow us. You know, and we was like, you know,
No bigger club, no bigger nothing.
Yeah, you know, we had done all the talent shows. We won a whole lot of talent shows there. You know, we done a lot of things. We was well known. You know, we had a local album out called Faces of Death. We was well known, but it was just like, okay, this is where it stops. So we was like, you know, Flesh at the time was going to school, was going to college, like, 'cause he was into basketball. So he came out here. He was going to some school out here, and when he came out here, he was like, he used to call us and be like, man, I just ran into so and so. I just ran into dude from the movie Minister Society. I just ran into I went to a party. I'm like, damn. He called us. He was like, man, everybody is here. I think y'all need to come out here. Like, if y'all trying to make it, y'all need to come out here. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, Flesh was also a manager at KFC in Cleveland. So he was like, I'm about to come home. I'm gonna work there until we get the money. Y'all hustle on the streets, do what y'all do, and I work at KFC like until we get enough money to get these bus tickets. So he came home. He went to work. You know, like we hustled up money on the streets or whatever. And you know, we got the money to get the plane tickets, and we actually went out there just on the whim. Like we didn't know nobody out here. We were just going out here. He was out here living with some people that was from Cleveland as well, because they was all going to school together. So when we came out here, they had like a 1-bedroom apartment, but it was like 7 of us. Mm-hmm. Like, so we all stayed in this like little apartment. You know what I'm saying? Like just came out here, and we actually was staying like at their house, and then we met like some more people out here. Their name was Don and Dina, and we stayed at their house just like back and forth because there was so many of us. And we actually they gave us the address to Tone Loc. I think he lived on like Pico or somewhere. Mm-hmm. And we actually walked to Tone Loc's house, knocked on his door. His manager at the time came outside. You know, we rapped for his manager. Tone Loc came to the door. You know, like, and his manager loved it. He was like, "Wow, where y'all from?" and this and that. We took his number. You know what I'm saying? Like, called him a couple times. He never called us back. He was like, you know, that was some bullshit. You know, so then we got a call one day while we was out in California from the person that we worked with when we done our local album. His name was Diego, and he told us that he had the number to Ruthless Records. So we was like, man, like, yeah, give it to us. Like, so he gave us the number, and we started putting in calls, like just calling back to back every day. The receptionist used to answer the phone. Her name was Keisha Anderson. She used to answer the phone, and man, we called her so many times. She was like, man, look, I promise y'all, I'm gonna make sure he calls y'all back today. Y'all been calling so much. I'm gonna make sure he calls y'all back as soon as he gets into the office. So we was like, okay, all right, cool. Man, so like we was sitting in the house one day, and the phone rang, and Busy answered the phone, and he was like, yeah, who is this? He was like, this is Eric. And Busy was like, Eric who? He was like, this is Eric Wright. And then Busy was like, Eazy-E? He was like, yeah, who is this? Can I speak to Bone? And then Busy was like, hold on for a minute. Gave the phone to me. He was like, rap for me. Like, so I just started like rapping, like I just started busting, and Easy was like, he was like, damn. He was like, who is this? Told him who he was, and he was like, where y'all from? Da-da-da. And then he was like, he put the phone on speakerphone. And I guess he had Hutch in the office at the time. He had Hutch in the office and a couple more people in the office, and he put it on speakerphone. He was like, say that rap you just said again. And I did it again, and everybody was in the office like, damn, like just tripping. So he was like, where y'all from? We was like, we from Cleveland. We out here trying to get on. And he was like, oh, y'all from Cleveland? I got a show in Cleveland in like 2 weeks. He was like, yeah. He was like, so let me call y'all. I'm gonna call y'all back later on this evening in about 2 hours, and we can chop it up. So we hung up the phone with him. The people we were staying with at the time, I don't know what the female's problem was. I don't know if she was hating or not, but she left and locked the phone in her room. Like, so all day we hear the phone ringing. We like, oh man, we done missed the opportunity. I'm like, this is crazy. I'm like, she done hated on us. This is crazy. But so what we decided to do, we talked to the person who gave us the number. We was like, man, can we open up the can you get us to open up the show for Eazy-E in Cleveland. He was like, if y'all get back to Cleveland, then y'all got a spot on the show. So we was like, so man, we went to hustling. We calling our family back in Cleveland like, we need money to get back home. We need this and that. The people out here we knew they gave us money to get back. So we finally go back. We go back and we go to the show. We open up the show and we go off stage. Eazy goes on stage. They do their show. They go off the stage, and after the show, we just blended into his entourage like we was with them to get backstage. Like, so we walk with them, get to the dressing room, and they cut everybody off. So we standing outside the dressing room, and Yellow Boy walk outside, and we like, hey man, can we rap for you? He like, yeah, go ahead. Like, so we start rapping, and Eazy-E stuck his head out the door. He was like, y'all them dudes that rap for me on the phone? We was like, yeah. He was like, come in. So he was like, wrote his number down, his hotel number, the room and everything. He was like, come to the hotel after the show. So after the show, like, we go out, we go to the hotel. We get to the hotel, he come on the hallway. He like, when y'all want to leave and go back to California? We was like, man, we'll leave right now. We ain't got nothing to take. We ain't got no bags to take or nothing. We ready to go right now. So he was like, call me in the morning. And I'll have like some money down. I'll have like $250 in the Western Union for y'all and some bus tickets back to California. And I'll meet y'all back there when y'all get back there. Man, we left there like happy as hell. Like, couldn't believe this shit. Like, what the hell? We on with Eazy-E right now. So we get out here to California, man. He started taking us to all the studios and like just putting us with different like producers, just trying to find out like home for us. And like he finally took us to DJ Unique, and like we just clicked with him like just off the top, like, because all we had to do was like hum our idea to him. Like those first couple albums, like those beats that Unique produced, most of those tracks like we hummed to him, like this how we want to sound, like and he went there and like made it sound exactly how we wanted it to sound, and like that's how we clicked with him. So that's why he ended up doing like all our tracks, because like once we clicked with him, we was like, man, this is the producer we want to work with. So I mean, and man, and from there, you know, we released the Thuggish Ruggish Bone, and it was a wrap from there.
What was it like to hear that song on the radio for the first time?
Oh man, it was crazy, because it was like, it literally was like an overnight thing. Like, it's like one day we done the song, a couple days later, it was on the radio. Like a couple days later, Eazy telling us, man, y'all got the hottest song in the nation right now, everywhere. We was like, what? And then, man, I mean, the first time we heard it on the radio, we was tripping. We was like, and then when the song went off, they was like, this is a hot new group. We was like, wow, dog, they calling us hot. We was like, just open off that, you know what I'm saying? It was crazy.
What was the best lessons you learned from Eazy as your mentor? What did he instill in you that you still use today?
Man, just not to chase every dollar just because it's money. You know, he used to always tell us all money ain't good money. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you have to let some money go past, you know, to get it greater later, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's one of the main lessons, you know what I'm saying, that really stuck with me. And just, you know what I'm saying, and just like never be, you know, like too, you know, like always just let it flow, you know what I'm saying? Basically, he was a person that really had the vision. Like, he was the visionary behind everything, you know, like, so that's what I basically like took from him, and like looked at his vision, and you know, like that's how I like basically like created mine, like with a lot of the things he done, you know what I'm saying? Like, he showed me how to, you know, like how everything is supposed to be set up, you know, like how a company is supposed to be ran when you got the right staff and the right artists and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? So
that's great. And now, what do you instill into artists today? Obviously, you develop an artist on the Life, you know, your new label. What advice do you give to new artists to find their own style or create their own?
Yeah, man, you know, I try to relate to them, like, you know, how important it is, you know, like if you're looking for longevity in this business, then it's best that you come in like creating your own lane, you know, like just bringing something to the table opposed to following what the next person is doing, you know, like, because the originators are always going to be here, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you create something, you know what I'm saying, nobody's going to be able to come and take that away from you because you're the creator of it. No matter how many people try to do it, and make it sound like their own way, like you're still the creator of that lane. And the people that come in and copy, they may be around for a few years, but you know they were just copiers.
Right.
And that's what they're gonna be known as. You know what I'm saying? But
Imitators come and go.
Exactly. Imitators come and go. Originators are always gonna be there.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Tell us a little bit about your plans for the life and your label. What do you look forward to doing?
Well, man, what I'm looking forward to doing with the Life Entertainment, you know, as most of our fans know, it used to be called Thug Line Records, you know, but I want to change it because, you know, I think the Life Entertainment brings a more global appeal to it. You know what I'm saying? I think it's more of a household name, and I'm definitely trying to get up into the household. You know what I'm saying? I don't want parents to feel like, you know, I don't want them to be scared to let me into their household, and you know, like for their kids to listen to the music that we're putting out. Of course, all of it is not going to be for kids, you know, but I do have some young artists, you know, on my label, 13, 15 years old, you know, like that I think it's appropriate to have something that, you know, that their parents feel comfortable, like having them signed to, not thinking they're going to be over here doing these shows with these rap guys, shows getting shot up and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't, you know what I'm saying? I want to keep it business, man. You know, keep it drama free. You know, and I just basically wanted to be, man, a brand new dynasty. You know what I'm saying? A dynasty of hot artists with raw talent, real talent. You know, like making good music.
That's great. And even though you're from Ohio, obviously the West Coast has really embraced you out here, and part of this piece we're celebrating, you know, the history of the West Coast, hip hop and all that. Tell us how it feels to be welcomed into, you know, the West Coast legacy with Tupac and Dr. Dre and Eazy-E and DJ Quick and everybody out here, and you know what that means to be able to, you know, incorporate this into your music too.
Man, it's crazy, like, you know, like how the West Coast just adopted us, you know, like I guess you know, because Eazy put us out, you know what I'm saying, like, but in the beginning everybody thought we was from the West Coast until like they finally understood like what we were saying. I'm like, in our songs we say Cleveland is the city we come from, you know, but I guess they just overlooked that and just everybody just figured we was from the West Coast. But I mean, to this day, like, man, we get so much love out here. I mean, to this day, California is still our #1 market. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. Like, and it's always been our #1 market. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a real blessing to be looked at as being part of the West Coast movement. You know, everybody looks at us like that. Snoop, Ice Cube. You know, like we twerked with them, and they told us, they was like, man, y'all West Coast. You know what I'm saying? Like, they was like, y'all West Coast. You know what I'm saying? Y'all from the Midwest, but we consider y'all West Coast too, because the homie brought y'all out easy. And he was like, and that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? So it's a real blessing to be able to represent two coasts, the Midwest and the West Coast, and like really have valid, you know, would really have valid cause to do so. You know, because we did really help with this movement as well. We was a part of a great West Coast legend. So you know what I'm saying? We helped them carry that legend, that legacy on.
Beautiful. Any experiences, any stories with Tupac?
Oh man, just I mean, man, just the first time we met him, you know what I'm saying? There had been like a lot of animosity with the whole Death Row Ruthless thing, you know, around the time he had just signed to Death Row, and you know, it was just like a whole, you know, like we didn't know where anybody stood at, you know, at the time. You know, we just knew that Eazy had beef so with them, and you know, like we was riding with Eazy, and whatever was whatever, you know what I'm saying? So it was just like the first time we met him, you know, it was like it was real cool because we thought it was gonna be beef because, like, I don't know if you remember that old video show that used to come on TV, The Box.
The Box.
Yeah, but I was watching it one day and I saw Pac, like, he said something. He was like, we laid down the bricks to this thug stuff. Who was these thuggish, ruggish bone? I was like, oh, what? So I told everybody, I'm like, man, this dude talking crazy about us. Like, so like we was ready to ride on whoever from that camp. Like, 'cause we was down with Eazy, we was down with Ruthless. We was like, we all in, you know. Like, but when he came home, when he got out of jail, like he came. They had a big tour in Cleveland. They had a show in Cleveland. Death Row was on tour. And they came to Cleveland. And Pac got on the radio. He was like, yeah, you know, what's up? I want to give a shout out to Bone Thugs and Harmony. You know what I'm saying? We in y'all city. Y'all supposed to be thugs. Let's hook up. Let's hook up. We down here. What's happening? So we was like, okay, that's cool. So then we was out here in California, and we was going into the La Park Hotel, and he was coming out. So like when he saw us, like we all stopped and was like, what's happening? What's going on? And it was all love. Like he was like, man, what's up? You know what I'm saying? It's all love. Y'all dudes, I listened to y'all song Crossroads, the original version of Crossroads. He was like, that song, man, I listened to that song every day I was in jail. It got me through doing my time, helped me out a whole lot. And then after that, we was like, what's that? You got some weed? And he was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, go to the car and get that for him. He gave us some good herb, and we was like, man, we need to get in the studio. And next time we saw him, like he came to the studio, and it was just on, like, bang, like put the track on, let's go. And the first track we put on was Thug Love, and he was like, that's the one right there, let's go. Like he was just like moving, just like, let's go. And man, that song was crazy. It came out, it was a crazy hit, you know, like, but Pac was a real cool, like respectable dude, you know what I'm saying? Like he real recognized real, you know what I'm saying? Like I mean, and if you was a punk, he'd punk you. For real, definitely. Like I said, he was a little dude, but he was a rider. Straight rider.
Let's talk a little bit about Crossroads. Obviously, that song did so much for you. What was the original, or what was the origins of the song? Tell us about coming up with Crossroads.
Well, man, like I said, the original version was about one person. It was about another Bone member. He actually was killed. His name was Wally. We went to school with him, like grew up with him, went to school with him. Like he was the Bone member that didn't rap. He was just like the dude that was just like the enforcer. If you say anything foul about him, I'm kicking your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like he was like a bigger dude. You know what I'm saying? Like he was always down with us. But he was breaking up a fight between two brothers, and like one brother got mad and shot him in his chest, like, and he died. So we did that song to honor him, being that was one of the first like people that we had knew like in our hood to ever get killed. Like so, it was like a big thing. Like so, it was like. So we done that song for him, and then like it was like after we got on with Eazy-E, after we got our deal with Eazy and like put out a record, it seemed like everybody like around us like had started getting killed. Like Wish's uncle had got murdered, my brother-in-law had got murdered, my grandmother died, my cousin got murdered, Lazy Bone lost one of his sons. Man, it was just crazy. Everything was just like it seemed like death was getting closer and closer, and we was like, man, this is a crazy time, like for all this. That Eazy died, you know what I'm saying? So we was like, this is a crazy time for all this to be happening. Like so, we was just like, let's just turn this into something positive and like just honor all these people in the song. Like we honestly did it like not knowing like the song. We didn't even know what the label was gonna do with the song. We just made the song, you know. Like we told Unique that we wanted to do a remix. We didn't know that they was gonna take it to the label and tell me to put it out immediately. Like, but we done the song and we put out immediately, and man, that song actually ended up being bigger than the first one we done. It was crazy. The song blew up, and it's still like one of the biggest songs to this day. We do this song like worldwide, and every time we do this song, like it's nothing but tears and people crying and just all the time, everywhere we go, everywhere.
And what's it like to take this music that you created in a room somewhere, whether it's Ohio or California, and see fans react to it in Australia and Europe and, you know, Chile? And I mean, what's it like? I mean, obviously, you know, music's a universal language, but what's that feeling like to hear people, you know, give the music back to you?
Man, it's real crazy, you know, like because it's not like there's nowhere we have been to where we didn't get a tremendous response from our fans. Like everywhere, it's like that's one thing about our fans. They're the same everywhere, hardcore. Like they know everything about us. They got everything we've ever done. They, you know what I'm saying. Like we was in Chile, you know what I'm saying, and it was some people there that couldn't even. Man, it was crazy when we was in Chile because like the first time we went, it was like 7,000 people at this show, like 7,000 people, and it was It's crazy, like, because when we would talk on stage to try to hype them up, nobody would say shit. We was like, oh, shit, Is they dead? Is they feeling us? They just couldn't understand what the hell we were saying because they didn't speak English. But as soon as the music came on, the whole place just got the bouncing up and down like bam, bam, and like they would sing the lyrics but didn't speak English. So I was like, that is crazy as hell. I'm like, so this is how we communicating with them right now through our music. All these people in here. I was like, that's crazy. You know, like, and it's crazy because, like you said, music is universal. Even when you don't speak the language, you can always communicate to them with the music. So it was real crazy to see the effect that we have on people. Like still to this day, like we've been in the game like 20 years, and it's like we go to other countries, and it's just like we just came out. Like people still embrace us like that. So it's a wonderful thing to be able to have that longevity and loyal fans for that long, because you know, like fans, like most fans have a real short attention span. You know, like they only listen to what they can hear at the time. You know what I'm saying? If you disappear, you take a risk of falling off for good. You know, like, but these fans are like actually stuck with us like throughout our trials and tribulations, through thick and thin, and they still here with us today. So it's a wonderful thing to have fans like that.
That's great. Well, if we could just get you to do a shout out to N.W.A. Basically, say something to the effect of, you know, all these big companies, like you say, all money ain't good. You know, all these big people talking about record deals and the bling and all that. Sometimes that's not as important. If you believe in your music, you got to build it up from your own, you know, independent, you know, world first. So give them a little pep talk, something to that effect. Like, you know, don't sit there and wait for some big record company to do this for you. You know, these days there's more and more tools. You know, and end up with a little plug for, you know, I'm with N.W.A. You need to check it out. That kind of thing. Go for it.
Yeah, man. Basically, what I want to say to all the artists, you know, like it's just, you know what I'm saying. I mean, it's just, you know, like just stay true to your roots. You know what I'm saying. It ain't always about like the flashy lifestyle, you know. It's like the jury and, you know, all that stuff is gonna come. You know what I'm saying. Like what's important is the business aspect of it, you know, because like man, you can never forget it's called the music business. You know what I'm saying. 90% is business, 10% is music. You know what I'm saying. So it's like you have to look at it like that, because if you don't, you'll be broke, and you'll be sitting down thinking about what you could have done. You know, but it may be too late, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, it's a lot. I mean, I would advise people to try to keep as much control of your career as possible, you know what I'm saying? Whether going the indie route, you know what I'm saying? Because you learn a lot going the indie route anyway, you know what I'm saying? They always say experience is the best, you know what I'm saying? And, I mean, you can expect some slip-ups, because we all gonna do that, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially when you're new into this, you can expect to mess up and hit some bumps in the road and take some losses, you know what I'm saying?